The course itself is obviously the root of why this race means so much to so many people.
A lot of people joke and say that this is our Super Bowl of trail running, but it really is. It brings some of the best in the field all together at one really challenging race. This is the oldest 100-mile race in the nation, so it's just a great opportunity for our community to gather, whether you're an elite runner, whether it's your first 100-miler, whether you're thinking you're gonna be in the golden hour, which is that final hour before the race cutoff. It's a place for everybody, and it's an exciting time for us to all see each other again. It's like a big family reunion.
It was more special because I've shot this race 3 years in a row, and I've read about it for a long time, but I think more importantly I'd been here, so I understand the history of this race, and it made it that rather than just coming in and never been here and it's like, oh, this is cool. Like all my low moments, I was like, I'm in Western States. It's such a magical race.
Yeah, I'm Tom Downs. I'm from Cork in Southern Ireland. It's my first time in California. It's my first time in Western States, obviously. Really, really excited about taking on the course tomorrow. We've been nervous about temperature. I suppose it's such a rare opportunity. I'll be the third Irish person in 10 years. We say about, the parish is where we come from, and so like being here and having the parish, behind me is kind of really cool and amazing. My first impression was guilt and certain anxiety because people with so many more tickets than I had weren't getting drawn. But then, you never turn down these opportunities. You never get them again. So live your life 100% if you can.
It starts near Lake Tahoe at Olympic Village, the site of the 1960 Winter Olympics. First thing it does is climb the hill behind us here, 3,000-foot climb in the first 4 miles.
You're there at 5 in the morning. All of us watching the race go up at 4 in the morning. And you're climbing a very, very steep, more than 25% inclines, and then sure enough, you're all the way at the top, 360 view. You can see the whole world.
Gus is gonna take him home, 62 to 79.
Yeah. You've got 500 people cheering for you. You've got clapping, cowbells, music, everything.
My most memorable point was the Escarpment. I've heard about it, I've been up there before, but not during the race, and it felt like a European, like Zagama or Sierra Zinal, where they're just lining the trail the whole way up, and I had hundreds of people up there screaming Ryan, and this is 3.5 miles into the race, and I'm like giving fist bumps and people reach out for high fives, and I don't know if somebody knows my name from my bib or if somebody knows me. It was so overwhelming, but in a good way, and I just couldn't stop smiling as I went through it. One of my really good buddies, Brett from Seattle, ran down as I started to descend on the other side and gave me a big hug, and it was a really cool moment. And I couldn't believe how magical the Escarpment was.
I think that it's an incredible way to start a race like this. This is a very challenging race anyway, and to start straight uphill like these runners do, I think it just sets the tone. It sets the tone of the massive challenge ahead, and when you know your start line is straight uphill, you know that you've already accomplished a lot by agreeing to yourself to even start a race like this. And I think once you get over that first hill, you're like, well, I might as well keep going from there.
So obviously we're in Northern California, and the whole area has been ravaged by wildfires.
I think it's made the course harder because there's less coverage. So you're so exposed through the canyons up to Michigan Bluff. It's just, I feel like the dirt's darker colored. It reflects the heat on you. There's sometimes in the canyons where I like turn a corner and you have this burnout section and it feels like heat just like melts your face, like melts your eyebrows off. There's no wind and you have all this extra like reflection from the sun from all the like dark trees and the dark dirt. So yeah, there's just no more coverage anymore. I mean, it's part of the history of the area. I mean, it is like, you know, you're kind of running through a museum to see how things change over time.
Good. Ice is good. Man, it's so hot in those canyons.
Also welcome in number 175 from Ireland, Tom Downs.
Good job. 175. Honestly, no, it changes everything. The heat, you know. We got hills and mountains, but you know, not 32 degrees. Aid stations are just unbelievable. Thank you. What a incredible people they are, like just amazing, you know. Come in like that. Look, I got a Coke and ice.
Oh, dodging on your vest.
No, I have to stick with what's working. I think I'm drinking more because in my hands, yeah. Oh, shit. So what do we have to run, John? We got to run 8-minute pace. We got 5 minutes.
Oh, is that?
No, it's okay. No, just go for it.
Especially Forest Hill, it's very uplifting. Like you do spend a lot of solo time. Like I kind of run in no man's land. So then you come into like Michigan Bluff and there's people everywhere and then you go back out, you know, kind of solo. And then you come into Forest Hill and it just, no matter what mood you were in prior to that, you just get this jolt of energy and everybody is so excited to help you.
Thank you.
Amazing! Good job! You're much taller in person. You're doing great.
Ready? Yeah. Do we have a belt? You want to go with Can't watch your carpet. Cheers. Cheers. Okay, beautiful. And also, how you feeling, bud? Oh, my legs don't work, but... No, they're going to work. They're going to work just fine.
Phone and my headphones on.
Great.
Boom, I got it.
That is like everybody cheers your name because your name's on your bib, and so you have just hundreds of people at every aid station, and they give you such like amazing attention. Like you get somebody who's, I'm here to help you until you're done, and then they help somebody else. But they're not like, oh, hold on, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. I'm helping 5 people. You have somebody that sticks with you at every aid, and it makes you feel really special. It makes you feel like, you know, it's like you waited your turn to do this race, and everybody wants to help you succeed.
You're the boss, man. You let me know what you want to do.
Well, the Western States 100-mile trail traverses the homelands of the Washoe and the Nisenan people. Both tribes have been here since the beginning of time, taking care of the land, and the land has been taking care of them. So for us, it's been really incredible to have the opportunity to build those relationships. One thing that I have learned is that you run with the land because the land is alive and it gives back to you. So every footstep you take, you know, anytime you look around, every time you dip in the river, you get something back. So yes, it's a magical moment, you know, opportunity for every runner to connect with the land on a much higher level.
Many of us who are local, you know, there are some large trees that we know where they are. As we get close to them, you know, we touch them. It gives you a great energy. Water is another great source of energy, in my opinion. You know, there are lots of creek crossing and water crossings, and I religiously use every one of them when I'm out on the course. And man, does it refresh you? It really does. Rocky Chucky is fun. I experienced it at 2 different times, 2 different experiences. The first time, I had a fall before getting there, so getting in the water, it was very refreshing. It woke me up. There is nothing to be scared about. There's a rope that, you can hold, go across, and if you got a warm night, it's really refreshing.
I was looking forward to Rocky Chucky all day, and then I got in the water and it was like 11 or something, and it was freezing. I was so excited because my legs hurt so bad I was gonna soak my muscles, and the second I got in I was just like, Ben, I can't go under, I can't duck, I just gotta get across the river. It was so cold. And the water actually isn't that cold, but it's just, it's that time of night. But it was, I've shot on the other side of the river, the Green Gate side. I've been over there, and it was just cool to actually do it because it's like one of the iconic spots of the course, and they had glow sticks in the water. So they're like, here's a big boulder, make sure you don't hit your shins on this. It drops off. I was like, how far? And then I took a step and it was like up to here. I was like, oh, I'm so cold. I mean, I can't believe the volunteers are standing in the water for hours just holding the rope and directing you. Because like I was in there for 5 seconds and I was freezing. But it was cool. It was really cool to get to the other side, and it felt like, okay, I'm gonna finish. I crossed the river. I have 21, 22-ish miles to go.
I think for a lot of us, it's finding the other side of what's possible for ourselves. The beauty of ultra running is that it's a sport against ourselves first and foremost, and ultra races give us the opportunity to dig deep and just see what's possible and surpass what's been possible for ourselves.
At its best, you're not really thinking about anything other than what is in front of you. There is a flow that you hope to get into. I heard it this weekend explained as feeling like a marble in a groove, that you're just going. I think in reality, it's a moving meditation. It brings you so in the moment.
There's something about when you're at your lowest point, thinking back to all the training miles, thinking back to all the support that you've had, and even thinking about those people that are at the aid stations, your crew that's ahead of you, waiting to support you, and you really feel like you're doing it for more than just yourself. And you know that your fellow runners are suffering alongside you, and there's something about that camaraderie that we all have with each other on the trail that keeps us going.
Take this one even further, it's a lot of people spend a lot of time trying to get into this race. You have to run other long races, 100K or longer, to get into this race. You have to put work in. You follow the lottery every year, you don't get in, so your tickets double, and it's this whole thing. Because some of them are actually pretty anticlimactic. You cross the finish line, there's like a box of pizza that's been there for 5 hours, and you're just like, oh, okay, I guess I go home. But this one, you have 300 meters on the track to soak it in, and just to like, okay, this is my last little bit. I can see the finish line. I'm going to do my lap. I'm going to stay present.
When the finish line gets closer, you want it to keep getting further apart so you can enjoy that experience so much more. So I hope it'll be like that. I hope when I'm rushing to the finish line, I want it to last longer. I want things to slow down and appreciate all that kind of what it's taken to get here as well.
It's really cool that you're finishing on a high school track. It still keeps the sport with that small, kind of like hometown feel. Our sport's really growing right now and it's exploding in popularity, but there's something really wholesome about finishing on a high school track that still makes our sport feel small.
You invest yourself if you're watching somebody. Forget the leaders at 14 hours. These are golden hours, 30 hours, right? And so people on YouTube, us at the race, you're investing yourself in a runner. For me, a blind runner who literally, and remember, this is the agony of defeat as well. You're watching a blind runner who you just pray is going to make it under 30 hours. And if you're under 30 hours and you're last, you're DFL. But if you just finish just after, it's heartbreaking for all of us that are helping them, for all of us that are cheering. And it's those stories that you remember forever. But think about how rugged these courses are, how intense it is to guide someone as a pacer, and he's 30 seconds behind the gun. I'm just too much of a positive guy. It tears me up. And I'll remember that forever. And if you thought you had a challenge in life, try running 100 miles in extreme heat, in very, very rugged territory, climbing up mountains with a guide. Like, it's intense.
Sorry.
Pretty wild.
How's that feel?
Feels amazing, and it has my name on it too. Yeah, I mean, I teared up. I was trying to stay present all day and not wish to just be to the track, and I wanted to enjoy it because it's probably the only time I'll run states. And I didn't want all of a sudden just be like, try to zone out or just wish my way through it, because this is a day I'll probably remember for the rest of my life, or definitely will remember the rest of my life. And so I was trying to stay present, but then when I finally got to, I couldn't run. I didn't run the last 5, I don't think I ran a step the last 5 miles.
I think I might even come back to volunteer or something. I know it's been a long way to come to volunteer for a race, but yeah, certainly we got a bit of a bug from this place, you know.
It still hasn't fully hit me. Like, it will at some point. I'll be like, maybe it's next year when I come back and I'm shooting there. I'm like, wait a minute, I did this. I crossed this line. So it was really cool.
Running is doing extremely well. It's just fun, and we're killing in the industry. It is community. The idea of the pros staying till the golden hour, they might have got a shower and came back. The idea of celebrating the back of the pack from the front is all about community, and that's why you're seeing the sport grow.
The idea is to try to probably keep coming back as long as I keep winning. So I think that's a nice idea.
It's kind of uncommon in most human condition to have such a tight camaraderie with your fellow competitors. It's kind of you against the trail for the most part. Yeah, you're competing against the other runners, but except for the hot shots at the front, most of us are just trying to get through it. And it is almost spiritual, I think, for a lot of people. And I always just kind of had like a dark humor about it, you know. It's like, Smiley said things could be worse. And so I smiled, and sure enough, things got worse. You know?